guys, welcome back to my channel and to another what I eat in a day. Thank you so much for logging on and joining me today for a fantastic day of food. And actually it's pancake day today, which means I had pancakes for breakfast, which was such a lovely way to start the day, especially considering it was snowing this morning. Honestly, I feel like winter is kind of going backwards. Over Christmas we got nothing, and then now Christmas is gone. The snow is hitting, which I'm not going to complain about because I love the snow. The only thing I don't love is driving in it. But yes, pancakes breakfast were delicious. Had these Aldi ones. I didn't really have time today to make my own pancakes, so I bought some and they were absolutely delicious and such a treat. I had them with cinnamon sugar, berries, chocolate. I mean, can you get better? I don't think so. So I'll insert that now. Pancake day is here and it's one of my favorite days of the year because it's the time when it's not the weekend, it's midweek, and we can have all the pancakes we want. So because I was feeling a bit lazy today, and also I knew I didn't have a ton of time, I picked up these ready-made pancakes from Aldi, which actually look super delicious and fluffy. So these apparently are 4 points per serving, which is high, but it's kind of one of those situations where it's pancake day, it's once a year, and I'm definitely going to go with it and use weeklies if I have to today. So I'm going to go for, I'm just going to see the size of them. I'm going to go for 2 because I have a really lovely lunch planned. And for anyone who is wondering what that equates to in grams, because these are actually quite hefty, that's 89 grams. There's quite a bit of pancake there. And I've dusted my plate with some icing sugar. So I have some accompaniments here that I'm going to be using as toppings. The first thing that I've whipped up is some cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon sugar is really easy to do. It's very, very fine. It's basically a mixture of caster sugar and cinnamon, and that is it. It's great for churros, it's great for pancakes. It just gives them that extra bit of taste and flavour. I've melted some high quality dark chocolate here that I'm going to use as a little dipping sauce or chocolate sauce that I'm going to spread on the top. And of course I have my staple, which is berries. And I have a combination of blackberries and raspberries here as well. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to get to assembling this. I cannot wait to eat it. It looks absolutely delicious. 8 points. I'm not going to bother tracking this little bit of chocolate and my cinnamon sugar. Feel free to be more accurate, guys. But as I always say, I'm maintaining, so I don't feel the need to track every single thing. And to be honest, now I'm at maintenance, I like that flexibility. I like to rely on my instincts a little bit more, just because it shows me, number one, that the lessons are ingrained and they've been learnt for life, but also it makes me less strict on myself, and I think that's really important with where I'm at with my weight at the moment. So that is that. And now I'm going to drizzle on some of this delicious chocolate sauce. Oh my goodness.
Ever since the day that you went away.
There we have it, guys. Pancakes and coffee with berries. Honestly, that cinnamon sugar smells incredible. Again, I'm not pointing the chocolate or the sugar, sorry guys, but I'm sure that you can just track that on the app accordingly, or even skip on it if you don't want to use it. But 8 points for these 2 big fluffy pancakes, and I'm going to go and chow down and enjoy. I mean, what a delicious way to start the day. It was amazing, so I loved that. And now it's time for lunch, and I'm having some leftovers, which you guys will know is one of my favorite things to have. And I whipped up these spicy lamb burgers last night, and when I say spicy, they're not actually spicy in terms of their heat. There was just a ton of herbs and spices that went into them, and it made them very aromatic, very flavorful. It was something that I completely just made up on a whim. I had some lamb beef that I wanted to use. I had some lamb mince that I wanted to use, and I basically did this harissa, coriander burger with garlic and breadcrumbs, and just made my own burger patties basically, and they were beyond delicious. I'm definitely going to do them properly in a What I Eat, where I actually show you how to make the burgers, because they're a triumph, to be honest, and I think a lot of you would love them. So I'm having leftovers today. I'm thinking about having them with some bruschetta, these mini bruschettas that I have with cheese on the top. I think it's going to be delicious. So yeah, that is the plan for lunch. And then for dinner tonight, I'm thinking about making a curry. Some kind of chicken curry, I'm not too sure yet. I have chicken breast that is defrosted in the fridge. I might even treat myself and have a korma. I'm not sure about it yet, but there will be a curry tonight because I fancy it, and I think it's going to be fantastic warmer for the snowy weather. So that is the plan. I will link any recipes I have to share in the description box down below so you guys can go and enjoy those. And I'll also link what I'm wearing. This jumper, I'll link it if I can. It's from Oliver Bonus. I got it last year for Mother's Day, so I don't know if I'll be able to link it, but I definitely will try. I'm wearing my regular Topshop boyfriend jeans, very comfortable, great for this kind of day. And this is the first video that I'm recording with my new hair, which is crazy. You may have seen videos back and forthing of my new hair, my old hair, and that's just because I pre-record content, and because I have a what I eat in a day going live every other day, my hair is going to be switching back and forth between being cut and not being cut. Wow. Honestly, give me some sun. I know it's wrecking my lighting right now, but we have not had sun in so long, so I'm not gonna complain about it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you do, subscribe if you're new, and let's get on with the day. Okay, so it's now time to make lunch. By the way, I got a lot of questions about these. I have them in all different sizes. They come in sets, and basically they're fantastic for making sure that food remains airtight, or anything that you want to save remains airtight, but you don't have to use tin foil or cling film, so it's just more eco-friendly. Or if you're cutting into half a big onion or a tomato and you don't want to use it all, you can just stretch it over. They come in, again, a variety of different sizes. I will link these down below in the description because I do get a lot of questions about them, and to be honest, they are lifesavers. I picked some up for my mother-in-law recently and she's been loving them as well, so I will link them. But these are the lamb burgers that I spoke about, and even just getting them out of the fridge, the scent hits you. They are so flavourful. They're quite dinky actually, but they're really filling, they're really delicious, and because it's lamb, it's a bit more of a treat. You could definitely do these same burgers using pork mince or beef mince, which would make them more friendly when it comes to point values. I mark this off as 7 points for both, which might seem quite high, but actually lamb mince is that much more fattier, and I don't have it that often, so I'm happy to indulge. But again, you can switch these up and make them with beef or pork to make them more point conscious. I'm just going to warm these up in the microwave. They've been heated up, they smell delicious. Now normally I would have these in a muffin or in a flatbread like this, but I have some bruschetta that needs eating. I got this from Marks and Spencer's. It is so low in point value, guys. You have to check this out. It is 2 points for 4 of these, and they're mini, but they're actually really filling. So, you know, surprisingly, they actually do fill you up. So 3 for me is more than fine. I mean, I need to eat them anyway, so I'm going to have that, which will make this 9 points so far. Again, not the most point conscious, but if you did make these with a different type of mince, it would be better for you. So 9, 1 point with the cheese as well, so it's a 10-point lunch for me today, which I think for like a lamb bruschetta situation is absolutely perfect. I'm not going to point my mayonnaise. This is truffle mayonnaise. It's an M&S one. It's actually really delicious, and it complements the lamb really nicely because this is quite sweet, whereas this is a more sharper flavour than you would get than a normal mayonnaise, which is more creamy. And yeah, this has a slight tang to it, which I think works really well with the lamb. So what I'm going to do is just get my bruschetta, swipe some of this mayo on, get the burgers across, and sprinkle some cheese on, and it's going to be pure heaven.
Come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers, flowers to me. Flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms. Sending flowers to me. Send me no flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. You've been sending flowers.
So you guessed it, guys, it's that time where I go and pick Layla up from school. I actually really enjoy the school runs because it's my only exercise that I get. I always mention that I don't really work out at all, so the walking that I do to and from the school run is my only real exercise apart from running around crazy after the kids. So yeah, I'm just about to go and do that, then I'll come back, have my coffee. I don't think I'll have a sweet treat just because I had the pancakes this morning and they've really hit my sweet spot for the day. So I think I'm more likely to have some fruit and a coffee. But I'll decide when I get back. You never know, I might change my mind on the walk home. So yeah, I'm gonna go get Layla's, then come back, have my coffee, and then we'll get on making dinner, which I think I've pretty much decided I'm gonna be making a chicken korma because I fancy it. And you know when you're thinking about it all day and then you just fancy it, so that is the plan. I have just returned from the school run. The snow has started again. It's actually sticking now, which is quite exciting. So warm drink, I'm just gonna have one of my sachets. These are the sachets that I have. I will link them down below. I have one of these every single day, guys, so I will link the Amazon seller I get them from because they're really reliable. Amazon Prime, super cheap as well. I'm back in the kitchen now and I'm going to make a recipe from the WW app. This is a bit of a change for me, to be honest. I have tweaked it a little bit because you can edit ingredients in the WW app, but everything else has remained the same. And this is going to be an 8-point korma, which I'm very excited about because that actually factors in the rice as well. So it's very simple to make. And again, you can change things up. Like the recipe called for carrots. I'm not a fan of carrots in a korma and I've never heard of that before, so I'm skipping on those. But again, feel free to add them. I might even add some spinach and to give it a bit of texture. I'm not too sure yet, but I have some salt and pepper here. I have some tomato puree. I will put this in the description box down below. I have coconut oil. You could use regular olive oil, but I think adding coconut oil is going to complement the coconut milk that we're going to be using. This is the light coconut milk as well. If you do use the full fat, it will be significantly more because it is quite hefty in regards to point value. But I'm using the lighter version. You're also going to need some kind of korma paste. You can whip up your own, but I'm going to be lazy today. And speaking of lazy, I'm also going to be using some chopped garlic that I got sent. These are actually super handy. Normally I would never pick up anything like this, but I got sent them, and actually they're super handy for when you want some garlic, you don't have a ton of time, you don't really fancy getting the grater and the peelers out. These are really good. I mean, they are a bit of a cheap option, but they're fantastic. And this is basically a jar of chopped garlic. Again, it's from the Very Lazy brand, so I'll link that down below in case you guys want to go and check it out. I have an onion here. This is just half of an onion that I have left over from yesterday, but it's quite a large onion, so that will do. And I also have a stock pot, and of course I have some skinless chicken breast here, which is of course free, and I have some lemon for sprinkling on the top. I also have some rice soaking here in a bowl. I do get asked a lot about my rice recipe. I will talk you through it a little bit later, but for now that's just going to set aside, and I'm just going to get started. So I hope you all enjoy it. Cue the music and let's get cooking.
Flowers to me, send me no flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Ever since the day that you went away, you went away, you went away. Ever since the day that you went away, you went away, you went away. Sending, sending, you went away, you went away, you went away. Ever since the day that you went away, you went away, you went away.
One of the things I get asked about the most is how I make my rice, because the eagle-eyed ones of you have noticed that I have a bit of a ritual going on with it, and I soak it, and a lot of you ask me why and what my method is and say there's clearly a method to what you're doing, so can you share it with us? This is a very Middle Eastern way of cooking rice. It's what my parents do, it's what I've been taught to do, and Andrew now does, and we make perfect rice every single time. The first thing I will say is I use ghee to cook my rice with. I use olive oil if I don't have ghee. Olive oil is absolutely fine, but ghee is just a bit better for you, and I think it gives a nice flavour and texture to the rice, but feel free to skip and use olive oil should you fancy it. And what I do is I coat about an inch worth in the pan, so by the time it's melted I want about an inch of oil in the pan, which seems like a lot. It is, but you can again just brush it if you want to. You can just adjust this accordingly, let's say. So that's what I use to cook my rice in first of all. Behind the scenes, my rice will have been sitting in some boiling hot water to sit and have all of the starch released out of it for at least 20 minutes. So I basically get some rice, boiling hot water from the kettle, and let it sit for about 20 minutes. Then I go and I rinse the rice and rinse all of the starch out. Once that's done, I heat up the oil and put the rice straight in, and I literally stir it for about 15 seconds and get all the rice coated in the oil. And then what I do is I put kettle water on top of the rice to about an inch above it so you can't see the rice anymore, and have it on a high heat. Once the rice has surfaced, once the water has evaporated, you can see the surface of the rice, I turn it right down, the lowest that the hob will go to, and I sit and I let it simmer with the lid on for about a further 7 to 10 minutes. So that's a tip from me to you guys, all about how I cook my rice the Middle Eastern way, and it's delicious, and you'll be making perfect rice every single time. And of course, I season my rice with salt and pepper as well. You can use table salt if you like. I like to use rock salt, so I get a generous sprinkling of that, put the rice straight in on top of the ghee, and some pepper as well. If you're doing this for children, don't worry, it evaporates pretty quickly and it just adds a flavour to the rice. But again, feel free to skip on the pepper, but you must add salt, it makes all the difference.
Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers, flowers to me, flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to
what I eat. That korma was really delicious. I mean, korma isn't my favourite kind of curry, but that one was actually really flavourful, so I really enjoyed it. And the rice was perfect, so do make sure that you check that out. I'll put the recipe in the description box down below. It ended up being 8 points for the meal, as you saw, but then I had a flatbread as well from Aldi, which was 3 points, making it 11 points, which means I have 2 to roll over today, which can account for things like oil or the chocolate this morning that I didn't track. So yeah, I'm going to end it here, have my nightly orange. I feel like I haven't been having my nightly orange when I've been filming these videos, but most nights I do have one, so I'm going to go and enjoy that. But don't forget to check out the description box for more what I eat days from me, things throughout the house that you may have seen and might be interested in, and clothes that I've been wearing and that kind of thing, and I will see you in my next video.
Flowers, flowers to me.